it resonated with them the same emotion I felt watching him on the sideline. That lack of emotion, that just stoic, whatever. That, I'm telling you, is resonating with people. It's making people feel like he's punched out.
Yeah, here's a tweet from @SizeJunksP1. Matt in MSP says, if they're not firing Ron, I'd like to see him up in a coaching box with JDR and Bieniemy on the sideline. Tired of the blank stare, arms crossed, emotionless BS we've been living with the past few years.
Well, that's not happening. I mean, they're not going to just throw Ron up in a luxury suite to watch the games.
But it is true. That's the one thing I will say about Bieniemy, because I think Bieniemy's learning as he's going here, and I think he's been kind of uneven also. But at least Bieniemy's fiery.
Right.
At least he's passionate.
Sure.
I mean, even Jack Del Rio looks dead on the sideline.
Here are a couple tweets that I think offer more specific strategy advice. Ryan tweets us, 1, play more shell zone to stop the explosive plays.
Don't they do that?
I saw, though, a statistical breakdown. When they're in zone, they've been okay. When they're in man, they get killed.
Oh, the man coverage is
all teams do both.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be predictable, but maybe they should play more. He says, stay more balanced on offense. Totally agree. Said Howell should never have 50 pass attempts. And create more pass rush. D-line needs to be better. Okay. Trey says, play a 5-man front. Bench Barton and Forbes. And blitz more often. I think a lot of fans are on kind of the same page there. Let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067.
By the way,
what do the Commanders need to do to start winning games again?
Before we get to the tactical advice from the listeners, to me, this is the most pivotal stretch of the schedule. 4 of the next 5 are on the road, and your one home game is against the Eagles. So, like, they need to win some of these road games at Atlanta, at the Giants, home to the Eagles, at the Patriots, at the Seahawks. Like, they need to somehow come out of that stretch like 3-2 to keep the season on track. If they go 1-4, or God forbid 0-5. Then you might start seeing the changes.
Oh no! If they have 1 or 2 more performances like they did the other night, this staff will not make it. They will not.
Plus, they have a late bye. I mean, their bye isn't until like December 10th.
Yeah, it's very late.
I mean, it's super late bye. Most critical stretch of the season upcoming the next 5 weeks.
All right, 800-636-1067. What would you do? Don't just say just fire Ron. Like, what would you do?
That is the most popular response.
Yeah, what would you do strategically? To spice it up. All right, let's go to Mark in Largo. Hey, Mark.
Okay, I'm not going to say fire Ron, but I will say this, and I'm going to take the defensive side first. If you got 4 defensive linemen, why not do what the Rams did yesterday when they were playing against Philadelphia? Take Allen, move them around the line. Make Allen at the end, put Payne at the end, and have Sweat coming up the middle and Chase coming up the middle. Maybe stand Jamin Davis over the middle as well. That's how you can probably generate pressure on that end, on that part.
Create more confusion.
Create confusion so people wouldn't know. On the offensive side of the ball, guys, I would have to seriously consider starting the tackles behind the guys that we have right now. And the reason why I say that is because of this. You're limited with both Leno and Wiley. My God, wow. I can't even look at it, Wiley. Every time you look at him, it's like, hey, guys, remember back in the day when we used to watch Jordan, people used to say Jordan walk on the court, he gets 10 points. Sam Howell walks on the field, there's 2 sacks already. And that's the way it's looking right now with this offensive line. I think you have to really consider either hurry up offense. If you're going to keep the same offensive line, do hurry up. Now, I'm not going to criticize Eric Bieniemy because I think if it wasn't for the offense, to be honest, let's keep it real, Eric, this team would be 1-4.
Yeah, but Mark, here's the problem with the hurry-up offense. Then you get your bad defense out on the field quicker if the hurry-up offense doesn't work and it stumbles.
I don't think you necessarily have to run hurry-up, but I do think you have to max protect, 3-step drops, sprint rollouts.
Well, I agree.
Right?
They
Misdirection.
should be majoring in the quick game.
All that stuff.
Because you can't have Howell just dropping back on 5- and 7-step drops.
No, that's not working.
He's just going to get murdered.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Mike in Reston. Mike, what's up? You're on with the Junkies.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
man,
Mike.
Hell of a show, man. Hell of a show.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Man, I just feel like this is what I feel. I get tired of, hearing people say the next man up. Because if we got the next man up, why the hell we're not putting them in? So my thing is this: if you see someone, and then like I was telling,
who do you want to sit? Who do you want to sit?
Oh, I think everybody know who I want to sit. I think everybody in D.C. know who they need to sit, obviously, because the Cowboy Curtis is not cutting it.
Who's he talking
about? That's Barton.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cody Barton.
He's not cutting it at all. And then I keep hearing people talking about Khalil. Like, why don't they put him in there? I mean, he's obviously way faster. And on top of that, too, like I said, the whole mantra of the next man up, we're not living by that because apparently they must not believe in the next man up because they keep the trash that they got on the field.
Is he talking about?
All
right, thank you. Is he talking about Kalika Hudson?
I think
is that
so.
What he's talking about?
But remember, this is a team that has de-emphasized the linebacker position. They don't spend a lot of money there. A lot of the schemes they run just don't value linebackers. They're going with the common trend now in the NFL where you have to defend against the pass. And by having a big hulking linebacker out on a lot of plays is not going to be the way to do that. They're kind of trying to adjust to the times, and it's had mixed results at best.
But I do like the idea that the other caller had about like moving the guys around on the D line.
Yeah.
You watch Micah Parsons, you never know where he's going to line up.
Right.
He's always moving around.
49ers knew last night.
Well,
they just dominated
Well,
them.
you can't comp the Niners defense to the Commanders defense. I know.
No, I'm saying the 49ers offensive line.
Right.
They saw Micah Parsons and they blocked him.
Right.
All right, let's go to Jerome in D.C. Jerome, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junkies.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you guys got a fantastic show, man. I love you guys driving to work.
Thanks,
Jerome.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
So my thing is something that really needs to happen. That happens to really terrible coaches. Sometimes when it gets so bad, they call in the consultant. We need a defensive consultant. What's the guy name that played for 49ers that they brought in helping us over the summer? Big guy. He was an offensive lineman, came in, was working with our offensive lineman. I can't remember his name, but he was helping us out. We need a consultant. Bring in somebody that's a shot across the bow for Del Rio, telling him your crap is not working.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You got Jack Del Rio and you got Ron as a defensive guy. Like, you're supposed to have the defensive brain trust here already. Like
the problem with that is they're outdated. They're old. They're calling old plays. They're running an old defense. So the way you shut both of them down is let it be known. One of you guys get fired, but the defense is giving up too much. So they're the worst of the two. So bring in a consultant, put that consultant front and center.
Who's he talking about? I remember Warren Sapp was here.
Yeah.
Is he talking about Warren Sapp?
I don't know. I thought he was talking about like an offensive consultant. I don't know.
Anybody that will let it be known that the head coach is gone. There's not really anyone out there right now that can come in and be defense coordinator in the middle and the first quarter of the season. But the shot across the bow needs to be made. Something needs to happen dramatic to let these guys know, hey, you about to be canned. And also it tells us as fans that they see something has to happen. They just can't go on for the rest of the season and wait till the end of the year to fire these guys. They're going to lose the fan base in these sold-out stadiums. That's going to go.
Oh, yeah, that's going to evaporate.
Yeah, I think suddenly we'll see shots of Josh Harris not looking so happy in the suite.
What's their next home game?
Well, the next home game is against Philly. You think there aren't going to be a ton of Philly fans at FedEx Field? I know all of the good vibes around the sellouts have been great over the first 3 games. The next one will be a sellout, but there will be a green invasion at FedEx Field.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Commanders fans are kind of rushing into this new era when Josh Harris basically said the timing of it basically made this a gap year for him? Like, he's got to go in, he's got to assess everything.
Got excited by the first 2 wins, Valdez.
And
they started off 2-0.
No, but I don't know what comments you're referring to. Where
like at his presser, he basically says we got to assess everything before we make any kind of move. You couldn't realistically affect any kind of substantial change on the field.
Well, if they go
when he came in,
if they go 1-4 over this next stretch, the assessment should be let's replace the coaching staff and just go forward with Bieniemy and give him his audition for the rest of the season. Like,
I think it could happen sooner than that. Like, if they get blown out in his next couple, I mean, I don't think the fan base is going to tolerate any more blowouts.
But, they can make adjustments defensive. For example, Justin Fields, after the game, said he was surprised that they left DJ Moore in one-on-one coverage 95% of the time.
Right.
He said DJ Moore's going to win that.
Sure. He's going to throw him the ball all the time when he sees that.
And maybe the defensive staff is stubborn, like, hey, we draft this guy in the first round, Forbes. We don't need to give him help.
Hey, you know what? I was watching the Vikings-Chiefs game. You know what the Chiefs were doing? They were double-teaming Justin Jefferson before he hurt himself. That's what you do against premier weapons, and I understand that's going to open you up to other players getting open and beating you, but if I were the Commanders last week, I would have rather, I don't know, Darnell Mooney or Cole Kmet, and I know that might be a bad example because he scored a touchdown too. I'd rather have those guys beat me than DJ Moore beating me like a drum throughout the game.
It's Football Monday presented by your local Honda dealer. 800-636-1067 is the number. Who's up?
All right, let's go to Carlos in Silver Spring. Hey, Carlos, what's up, man? You're on with the Junks.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey, Carlos.
I think we just need to, switch it up a little bit. Like the one caller said, switch it up on the defensive line. Like, I would love for us, honestly, to have Dan Quinn as our defensive coordinator. Because if you watch him with the Cowboys, he's putting Micah Parsons on the right side, left side,
all over the place.
Line.
Yeah.
Like, all over the place. Yeah, like, we got to switch it up. We got to do something new. We got to have some design blitzes. Like, I don't think this season haven't even blitzed a corner yet. Like, the simplest things that can switch up our defense, we haven't even done. And then offensively, I think for the O-line, like, give the rookie a shot. Like, mix it up on the offensive line. Like, I don't know why we even let Eric Flowers go. He was a terrible left tackle for the Giants, but when he came to us and was a guard, he was perfectly fine.
It was kind of a head scratcher. I guess it was a salary dump, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, nobody else has picked him up. I think he's just walking the streets at this point.
Yeah, but he fit with us, though.
Yeah, it worked.
Seemed to work with us.
He fit with us like a glove. It was perfect. I don't know why we gave him up. We just need to switch things up on the offensive line, I think, and then on the defensive line, switch up the play call. One caller said we're doing the same basic stuff, and yes, we're doing the same basic stuff every single time. Let Jamin Davis let him blitz for a once in a while. Like, do something, mix it up. But that's all I got for you guys today, fellas.
Well, they're definitely going to need to. When you got Justin Fields and the Bears saying they watched the film and they were basically licking their chops because they knew exactly what the Commanders were going to do on defense, the Commanders are going to have to make some adjustments.
By the way, Eric Flowers is out there. He's still only 29 years old.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been out there for 2 years now.
2 years, yeah. It's kind of weird.
Maybe he ballooned to 500 pounds.
Maybe he just doesn't want to play.